Good evening, ladies as well as gentlemen. Papa Boris here with some more Hearthstone Arena action. It is Rogue time, baby. Rogue time. See what we got here for our first rare. Alright, Perdition's Blade, extremely good card. One of the few combo cards that you don't really need to combo for it to be good. Imp also fine, but it's not removal the way that Perdition's Blade is. Backstab. My favorite card in the game. Awesome. These are all decent cards right here. For sure, I could try to give this an aggro bent by taking the Abusive Sergeant. But let's keep our options open a tad and get the Wolf instead. The buffing is nice, and I've grown to really like having buffs available, even if they're sort of mediocre ones like the Wolf. Oh my god. Well, bad. Playable. Let's do the playable one. I think Eviscerate you kind of have to take. It's just a little too good. Okay, now I've really grown to appreciate both of these cards recently, actually. They are both quite solid. You could make an argument for both here. On the one hand, Rogues have good removal, so you don't need a Charger. On the other hand, he's still really great. In my last run, or my second to last run, I just found a use for it every single time. It was always fantastic. The Gnomish Inventor, the card draw is nice as well. And the body's pretty good. I'm going to take the Gnomish Inventor, let's just see, and hopefully I don't regret it too much. Okay, so if I wanted to go aggro, the Infiltrator would be the pick here, but I don't think I want to commit to that as a rogue. I'm kind of new to this whole aggro thing. I get it with Warlock. With other classes, I'm not quite as convinced, so we'll take the Fan of Knives because it is excellent. Now, if this were a mediocre card of some sort, I'd go for the Worgen Infiltrator, just to have a 1-drop in the deck. Alright, so Sinister Strike is total garbage and a wasted card. Gotta go for the Berserker or the Stormwind Champion. Both have their upsides, so the Berserker... Berserker's more of like a control card. It's not like a good card as a 5-drop if what you're trying to do is rush the opponent down or have an aggressive curve, because its damage to start with is quite low. It takes some time to get going. Stormwind Champion, though, is expensive. Well, we'll take the Stormwind Champion because I'm just not a big fan of that Gorobashi Berserker, so we'll have our upper end card here. Okay, very easy pick here with the Argent Commander. Definitely the card you want to take right there. Oh, man. Well, here we have a bunch of unplayable crap, so I kind of wish the Imp Master were here. I would certainly take that. But yeah, I guess the Demolisher is the only playable one. Man, you just know it's not looking good if you're taking a Demolisher. That's pretty sad. Okay, so Sprint, definitely playable, but I'd like to get some more 4-drops. So this is a 4-4 for 4, which is okay. And it makes Backstab and Eviscerate quite a bit better, and Fan of Knives too. Now, of course, I'd rather have a Kobold Geomancer, because usually you want to play this in the same turn as a spell to guarantee that you get the benefit. Let's take a quick look at the Panda. What do we have here for the Panda? No, kind of. Yeah, I don't know about the synergy for the Panda just yet. We'll go ahead and grab some spell damage there. Backstab! Okay, well, that makes up for the Demolisher. 2 backstabs is awesome. Alright, so here, Cold Blood is definitely a playable card. I mean, it's kind of like Power Overwhelming, except the creature doesn't die, and you don't get a health bonus, obviously. The health bonus does sometimes matter, so... it's kind of a good card, but let's go ahead and get a 1-drop in the deck in the form of this Leper Gnome. Having a few 1-drops is definitely nice. Shiv is a good card, for sure, but let's get another 1-drop. Let's be a little bit more aggressive here. Shiv, like if this were Eviscerate or Backstab, I'd take it, but I've got a pretty decent suite of removal here with all these different spells. So we'll take the Infiltrator to load up on 1-drops and have some of those in the deck. Okay, Tiger's definitely good, but I like the Silvermoon Guardian better. I mean, yes, the curve kind of screams for a Tiger, but I think that, you know, having a 4-drop rather than a 5-drop is better than the other way around, and this isn't better enough, I think, to warrant passing over this quality Divine Shield thing. Okay, Cobra's definitely playable, but I will totally take a second Argent Commander. And here we have to make a tough choice. These are all quite playable cards. I really want all of them, actually. So the Ringleader is obviously great, so that you have it in your deck, so you have a chance to coin one out on turn 1 if you're second. But even if you don't do it on turn 1, later in the game, it's still fine just to drop down and build up some instant board presence. Silence is nice to have, and then as a rogue, health is nice to have as well. Now, one thing to note is I don't have any really good 3-drops. This is a weapon, this is a spell, this is just... I'm just going to pretend it doesn't exist. We've got 2 2-drops and 2 1-drops. So, much as I hate to pass on this Ringleader, I want to have some 3-drops here for the early mid game, and the health gain is really good. It's a premier card, I think, so I'm going to grab it. Shadow Step. Every time I see a 0-mana spell, I think, oh, is it Backstab? No, it's Shadow Step. It's not very good. We'll take this Grunt, I think, for some more Taunt and for some more 2-drops. Okay, well, here's where we get Our 5-drop, or our first 5-drop, Azure Drake is excellent. Don't be fooled by Master of Disguise. I'm officially calling this card bad. I mean, maybe it's worth it in Constructed with some certain combos, but it is just a bad, bad card, so Azure Drake is the easy pick right there. Alright, am I going to take a second Perdition's Blade? You betcha. Oh, man. Oh, man, what is this crap? Rogues apparently have some bad rares. Head Crack, this thing, ugh. So, it's just so bad. It's a 4-4 for 4. I really don't want to do that. So I can take a 2-3 that's mediocre with an ability, or that, a 3-2 with a mediocre ability. Thing about the Wild Pyromancer is it'll sometimes screw you up. Like, the Wild Pyromancer, you can sometimes wreck yourself with it. So I'll take the card that, like, isn't going to hurt me. Panda's good. Viscerate's better. Always taking Eviscerate. Oh my god, now here's a tough moment. So, Backstab is my favorite card in the game, of course. But Spiteful Smith is incredibly good for rogues, and it's also really good with Perdition's Blade. You play Perdition's Blade, you ping your Spiteful Smith, and you swing for 4 damage, and it's just crazy good. And it's a good body for 5 mana, and I need some 5-drops. Oh my god. Well, I've already got 2 Backstabs. Now, if I had 0 or 1, I would just totally take Backstab. But in lieu of the 3rd Backstab, I'm going to actually take a Spiteful Smith. It's just a perfect creature here for me. Here's a tough moment. This is the best 2-drop in the game, but I'm a bit lacking for late game stuff, which I'm actually doing alright. I've got like 5 creatures at the upper end. Yeah, we'll just have an aggressively themed deck. I'm not gonna pass on the Samani Berserker. It's just too good, and the Taunter is pretty lame. Okay, this is exactly what I want. Some more stuff in the middle range of my curve. We'll take a Chillwind Yeti right there. That's totally great. Do I take a 3rd Eviscerate? I gotta say, I can't really complain about my removal. You know what? This is starting to get this is a good amount of removal with the 2 weapons, the 2 Eviscerates, the 2 Backstabs. I even got a Fan of Knives here for good measure. Feeling pretty good about my removal. Let's take this really good 5-drop here and beef out our deck just a tad. All right, let's take an Abusive Sergeant over these sort of mediocre cards. Get some more 1-drops. Oh man, what is this crap? Oh, jeez. Well, Crazed Alchemist always finds a use. It's not exactly true, but hey. Okay, Twilight Drake is fine. I'm going to take Sunwalker, though. I've gotten a lot of hate mail for passing on this, and it is good. It's kind of what this deck needs. If my early game doesn't quite work, it's nice to have some late game cards to catch back up with. Okay, well, I guess I get a Twilight Drake anyway over this unplayable trash. Alright, here we go. So the deck, I think is... Okay, I'm on the record in my last couple of runs for saying that the deck is bad and then for doing either really well or kind of well with it. So here I'm going to say I think this is actually a good deck. I think it's got, apart from that Demolisher and a few of the commons like, you know, the Frostwolf Grunts, I think it's got a lot of really good cards in it. I think it has a decent curve with some 1-drops, but also enough endgame to bring it home if I need to. And I got plenty of removal. I've got all the key removal. The 2 Backstabs, 2 Eviscerate, Fan of Knives, and 2 Perdition's Blade for good measure. I think it's a good deck. So watch me lose horribly. You know, I'd like to maybe replace one of the Frostwolf Grunts with like a, maybe like a Defias Ringleader. It is sad that I passed on that. What did I take instead? Oh, I took an Earthen Ring Farseer. I don't regret that. I do not regret that. I ended up with a lot of 2-drops. I don't regret that. I'm like having the extra health, especially against a mage and other such things. Hunters who might burn me down. Warlocks, whatever. So anyway, here I'm just going to go ahead and coin out the Wolf. The reason is that I want to have the 2 mana on my next turn to put out a dagger, so that Backstab plus the dagger I can deal 3 damage to something and kill anything she can play. Now, of course, I'm hoping she leaves my creature alone, because I don't have any more creatures to play, which is a little bit unfortunate. I hope she plays her own stuff so that I can kill it. That's kind of like the battle of a lot of removal-heavy decks, is you want your opponent to leave you alone and play creatures so that you can play your removal. If your opponent removes your stuff, then like she has spells and you have spells, and it becomes a much more protracted contest. Damn it! Oh my god, I cannot catch a break. They always have some kind of removal, those pesky mages, even if it's not a Frostbolt, it's a frickin' Murloc. I have a lot of 2/3s in this deck, an Amani Berserker, a Sunfury Protector. Fortunately, I did not draw them. So, that's that. I don't know what else she's thinking about with 0 mana here. I would say Greetings, but Rogues really shouldn't, because the Rogue Greeting makes no sense. Well, now I heavily regret using the coin.
Here we go.
I could have, on my next turn, coined out one of these guys and then played the other on turn 4. That would have been pretty spectacular, but as it is, I don't get to do that. Really hope she plays something, otherwise I'm gonna have an awkward turn 3. If she just hero abilities my face, I'll probably like swing at her with my dagger, play Perdition's Blade. Okay. It's actually really irritating. Boy. I don't like that at all. Okay, here's how we're gonna do this. Yes, we're gonna backstab. Hit her with the other tick of my dagger. Even though it's wasting the combo, we're gonna just do this. And pass the turn. So that's a pretty efficient way of dealing with the Harvest Golem. Let's see what... Now I want her to pass the turn and not play things. So, of course... here we go. She's going to draw a card. Fair enough. That means she's not playing anything. I will hang on to this Ogre Magi. It's actually, potentially, a really good thing for me to keep in my hand. Because I can play it and then backstab. Because backstab's free. Because backstab is freaking awesome. So now this thing will hopefully discourage her from playing stuff. Water Elemental. Mother frickin' ball sacks. That's all I have to say to that. Okay, so this is actually fine. We're going to go ahead and play the Ogre Magi. Backstab now deals 3 damage. I would like to kill it with my weapon so I can preserve my Divine Shield, but that's okay. We'll do this. And I guess I'll swing at her face. I'll play this Leper Gnome, why not? So if she wants to use a third of her mana to kill this Leper Gnome with her hero ability, she's welcome to that. I've got some pretty good bodies on the board. Problem is that Flame Strike comes down next turn. My deck's not very resistant to Flame Strike. I'd need like my Spiteful Smith or my Stormwind Champion to resist Flame Strike. That's about the only game in town. She's gonna do that. So my Leper Gnome lives. That's kind of awesome. Now the problem... Oh, I drew the Spiteful Smith. That's excellent. So the problem with using the Leper Gnome against this is it just kind of does admit to going a card down. What I'd rather do is kill the Squire this way, trade my Ogre Magi, because it's going to die to Flame Strike, so I might as well just use it up and then swing for 5 damage. Alright, the play here is definitely the Spiteful Smith, because this will survive Flame Strike, and in fact, if she uses Flame Strike to kill 2 of my creatures, this one will get enraged. I'll make a dagger. It'll be a 3/2 dagger. So basically, when the Spiteful Smith is enraged, it turns the Rogue's hero ability into a Fiery War Axe, and then I can start swinging at her face with it for pretty good damage. So I wouldn't even mind a Flame Strike. You want a Flame Strike? You can Flame Strike. She's going to Knife Juggle, try to kill my Leper Gnome that way. Odds are pretty low. And she whiffs. That's awesome. Okay. Love to kill this Frostwolf Warlord somehow. Let's think. I can attack the Knife Juggler with my Spiteful Smith. That will enrage the Spiteful Smith, make my dagger deal 3 damage, then the Leper Gnome can finish off the Warlord. Problem is that then the Spiteful Smith will die to a Flame Strike. Anything better? I could use the Leper Gnome to kill the Knife Juggler. Then this guy's alive. I can't use the Alchemist. I could use the Alchemist and let the Spiteful Smith trade with the Warlord. I guess that's a possibility. I'm not super thrilled by that, though. I could play the Earthen Ring Farseer to heal this up. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. So we're going to do this. 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 Order matters a lot. So first you attack with the dagger, and then I'm going to heal this up. Because I want this to survive a Flame Strike. Oh no, what am I doing? Oh no, that was the wrong creature. Oh my god. Okay, that was really pathetic. Oh my god, I can't believe I played the wrong creature. And then they both had like a comes into play effect. Oh shit. Well, that sucks. So now she plays Flame Strike and wins. No Flame Strike. Oh my god, it's my lucky day. Does she have an Arcane Explosion? She does. She's a bitch. Well, that's fine. Oh, God, the Alchemist is so bad. Alright. We're going to go ahead and just do this little song and dance. Yeah, we'll just play everything out. It's fine. If she had Flame Strike, I think she would have played it. I just want as much stuff on the board. I'm trying to burn her out. My main out at this point is like an Eviscerate. Oh, God, I can't believe I did that misclick. It was all going to be so perfect. Farseer, bring this back up to health. Sure, it's not enraged anymore, but it survives Flame Strikes. It would have been great. Alas, alas. She does not have Flame Strike or Mass Removal. That's really good news. If she had a Blizzard or anything, she wouldn't have done that. And she's going to Frostbolt with spell damage. That actually does kill the Demolisher. Okay. And she needs to kill this Spiteful Smith. Good girl. Okay. Venom Knives. Well, let me do this first before I do anything else. So it's not Counterspell. That's great. Oh my god! Okay. Well, I guess that wasn't Ice Block, or sorry, Ice Barrier. I don't know why she conceded. If that were Ice Barrier, she could have still won, because that would have been 8 more health. I don't know if I would have top-decked my way out of it in time. Anyway, that was a really weird game. I made a huge error and walked right into Flame Strike, and she didn't have it, so I caught a break and I won the game for that reason. But I think we've seen enough times on this channel where Papa Boris does not catch the break, so catching it one time is something I am not going to feel guilty about. Good start there, playing terribly against a mage and still winning. Like I said, the deck's pretty good. Let's see how we can do in game 2. Take a sip of good luck water. Hunter. Okay, this is a tough matchup. Hunter's really good against rogues. But the flip side is I can play this Leper Gnome on turn 1. Alright, let's send back these drops. My deck is chock full of 2 drops and 3 drops. I'd like to get some of those. Nope, not a chance. Well, Perdition's Blade, kind of. So, yeah, let's see what he's got. Oh, that's good. So we got a nice curve here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is totally playable on turn 3. Most of the time, if you're playing it on turn 3, you'll be able to kill whatever your opponent just played, even without the combo. The only time you don't want to play it on turn 3 is if your opponent doesn't have anything to kill. So this is where, again, you really want your opponent to play his own creatures, not to mess with your creatures. Alright, Loot Hoarder, I'm actually really happy to see that. Well, okay, I'm not that happy. I would have liked to play the Amani Berserker. As it is, I think I'd rather just dagger this thing down. So he doesn't lose anything for that, because he spent 2 mana and then cycled a card. Loot Hoarder died, but it dealt 2 damage to me as well. So he basically spent 2 mana to deal 2 damage, keep his number of cards the same. But I have a dagger in play, which is nice. So that's kind of my advantage. Okay, how do we deal with this Frostwolf Grunt? Not with Crazed Alchemist. Do I use the Perdition's Blade? What I could do is I could hit it with my dagger, then play Perdition's Blade, ping it off, and then keep the Leper Gnome swinging. I don't think I actually want to do that, though. Let's just go ahead and do the trade. I'm going to swing with my dagger because I'm going to play Perdition's Blade probably next turn anyway. Let's go ahead and do the Amani Berserker and pass the turn. I could have pinged it and killed it with Perdition's Blade, had the weapon in my hand, had a Loot Hoarder. I don't know, maybe that would, or had a Leper Gnome. Maybe that would have been smarter. Hard to say. Hard to say. Alright, can I use Crazed Alchemist? Nope, not enough mana. I want a Crazed Alchemist and Perdition's Blade. That would kill the Hunter. Alas, it is not to be. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this to turn on Enrage. Play Perdition's Blade. Notice how without the combo, I still get to kill it. And he's staring down the barrel of a 5-2, so he definitely doesn't want to get hit for 5 damage. He doesn't want to play Chillwind Yeti or Senjin, which would let me trade very profitably. I guess the best card he could have is like an Arcane Shot to kill this, followed by a 3-drop of some sort. That would be his best move, I think. Oh, I'd love to see a Steady Shot. I just saw his mouse hover over it. I would love to see that. That would be awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Secret. Boo! Boo! I have a feeling that is Explosive Trap, and he's just desperate to kill this. Always attack first against secrets against Hunter. So check for Explosive Trap before you check for Snipe. So first we attack. It's not Explosive Trap or Freezing Trap. Huh. Well, it's not Misdirection either. So that leaves Snake Trap, which is really unlikely, or much more likely Snipe. So I can either play the Worgen Infiltrator first, so that the Snipe eats something stupid, or I can play this to draw a card and have it get sniped and keep the Infiltrator. Well, they both hit equally hard. This one has a lot more health, though, so what am I even thinking about? Of course, we'll do this to check for Snipe. It is Snipe. Okay, good. So he just used 2 mana to kill a 1-drop. That's a great trade for me. We'll play Gnomish Inventor. And I'll hang on to this weapon. I think I could get some use out of it. Like with the Gnomish Inventor plus the weapon is 4 damage. I don't want to have to spend mana next turn making my dagger because I got 6 drops to play here. I got 6 drops to play. I got hose and different area codes. Alright, he's going to spend tracking here. It's little better than a cycle. He does have 4 mana left over to use the card he gets. Ah, that's a very good card. So this allows him to deal with my board quite effectively, because either of these will kill off my Money Berserker. Okay, so I think I'm going to be playing a 6-drop here, either the Sunwalker or the Argent Commander. So the Argent Commander's advantage is that it kills the Dragonling mechanic. Sunwalker's advantage is that it protects me really well, and Hunters don't really deal with it all that well. A Deadly Shot is only a 1 in 3 chance of hitting it. Yeah, I think this is actually the move. So I'm gonna be a little risky here. I'm gonna do this. Use my weapon to kill off the Dragonling. And I'm gonna swing for 7 damage. That is a lot of damage to be swinging at him. Especially because I've got, 4 damage in my back pocket here, plus 2 Eviscerates in the deck. I could very realistically burn him out. The Sunwalker's a real bitch for him to deal with. Could he deal with it? Sure. He could silence it, use this to kill my 5/2. But, I mean, he could also just go for a Deadly Shot out of desperation, and get lucky, I guess. But he didn't do that. He just kept it simple, kept it safe. Well, you know what? I got to admit, in another time, in another life, I would have taken a Twilight Drake over this. But I took the Sunwalker, and whoever was, on my case all the time about Sunwalkers was right. It's pretty good right here. Okay, so can I win the game? We got 5, 7, 11 damage. 11 plus 4 is 15 damage, and I can actually squeeze an extra point out with the Crazed Alchemist. I mean, or my dagger, but whatever. We'll use the Crazed Alchemist because it's sexier here. So we'll swing for 5, 10, 12, and yeah, I could have also used the dagger there. So the Crazed Alchemist was a bit superfluous. Alright, that was a good game. Turn 7 win against a Hunter. So, we have the rare arena where Papa Boris claims that his deck is good. Let's see how it goes, but first, a message from our sponsors. I'm just kidding, there are no sponsors, but I only do the first video with 2 games in it. So if you enjoyed those first 2 games and the draft, please hit that like button and or subscribe to my channel. I'd appreciate your help tremendously. And if you want to see the rest of this run and see if I live up to my claims, well then stick around because the rest of the games are going to be coming up shortly. I'll see you in a bit.